Greetings, I'm Dr. Alex Marrero, proud superintendent of Denver Public Schools. In DPS, our collective responsibility is educational equity. Our focus is on accelerating the trajectory of our most historically marginalized students and creating a student, adult, and system experience where every learner thrives. In 2016, Dr. Sharon Bailey published the Bailey Report, which detailed the opportunities and barriers facing our Black and African American students and team members. And in 2022, we commissioned a research report to understand the opportunities and barriers facing our Latinx and Hispanic students, team members, and families. We hired the Multicultural Leadership Center to create Raza Report. The 4 lead researchers, longtime friends of DPS, having been involved with district for the last few decades. Members of the team have assisted with the creation of multicultural studies curricula for DPS, helped develop our bilingual and multilingual education programs, led the previous Hispanic Education Advisory Council, and assisted with historic Colorado legislation leading to a K-12 bill in multicultural studies. 2 of them even served on my superintendent transition team during my first few months here at DPS. Today, we're excited for the researchers to share their findings and recommendations.
Hello, this is Dr. Steve Del Castillo. I'm the principal investigator and project director for the Multicultural Leadership Center and led the work surrounding La Raza Report. My team and I were honored to have been granted the opportunity to conduct this research in the Denver Public Schools to better understand both the opportunities and barriers facing our Latino students, families, and staff members. We launched Phase 1 of the project in November 2022. We used Phase 1 to build the necessary infrastructure to access the information we needed for the research. This included historical data about DPS in the city of Denver, as well as historical and current student achievement data. In February of 2023, we began the research process. Our research was incredibly robust and included a detailed historical analysis and literature review to better understand the greater context that has influenced the experiences of Latino students, families, and staff within DPS. We also analyzed almost 15 years of quantitative student achievement data, and we gathered qualitative data through focus groups, interviews, and surveys. We started our qualitative research through focus groups with students, families, and staff members across the district. We intentionally chose schools that would allow for a representative sample of voices. This meant we prioritized schools not only with a majority of Latino students, but also schools with only 30% of the student population identifying as Latino. We also had schools where most of the students were English language learners or multilingual learners, and those schools where only 5% of students were English language learners or multilingual learners. Also, our selection process included students qualifying for free or reduced lunch. This variety of school demographics allowed us to appreciate and understand the diverse experiences of Latino students, families, and staff members. Using these parameters, we selected 15 schools that represented all educational levels and school types, including charter and pathway schools. The schools were also representative of all of the geographic regions across the districts. At those schools and within the community, we hosted 51 focus groups reaching over 600 students, families, staff, and community members. In order to capture feedback from individuals who did not participate in focus groups, we also conducted a survey that was shared with staff, families, and the broader community. We had a total of nearly 3,000 responses from students, English and Spanish-speaking families, teachers, and central office staff, as well as administrative leaders. Once we had all of the historical, quantitative, and qualitative data, we spent the fall analyzing and synthesizing the findings, identifying themes, developing recommendations, and writing the final report. Through the historical analysis and literature review, we found that amidst an overall decline in enrollment across the entire district, there has been a net loss of roughly 1,000 Latino students in DPS. We also saw that standardized test scores in English and mathematics decreased over the last 8 years for all students. and we saw significant trends and demographic shifts within the DPS boundaries, including the impact of gentrification and immigration on Latino families. We identified 10 themes among our qualitative findings. These themes evolved from the opportunities and barriers identified through the focus groups and were used to inform the recommendations. The themes address the importance of focusing on areas such as culturally responsive curricula, enhancing school resources, tackling safety issues and bullying, managing cultural dissonance, and addressing language challenges. The themes also focus on promoting Latino leadership, incorporating Latino culture in education, and boosting parental engagement. After synthesizing and reporting the data, we generated almost 40 specific recommendations. The recommendations included areas such as increasing resources for our Latino students and families across the DPS internal teams. We recommended partnering with the City of Denver and community organizations to coordinate resource support for the families. We also recommended addressing the specific needs of the increasing number of immigrant families. Additionally, the recommendations address areas such as improving cultural competency within the district, adopting anti-bullying methods, and developing plans to optimize resource access and distribution. We look forward to sharing our findings with the Denver Public Schools community.
Thank you, Dr. Del Castillo, for walking us through the findings of La Raza Report. La Raza Report is a testament to our commitment to understanding and addressing the unique needs of our community. It delves into the intricacies of the issues faced by Latino families, providing valuable insights that will serve as the foundation for targeted and effective solutions. La Raza Report is not just a document, it's a call to action. It empowers us to advocate for policies that foster improvement to our students' success. As your board president who taught multilingual learners in Denver Public Schools for over 30 years, I can assure you that we will continue to strive and make changes to better the student and the adult experience here at DPS.
The findings and recommendations uncovered through La Raza Report provide invaluable information for us as a district to capitalize on the opportunities and to mitigate the barriers to improve our Hispanic and Latinx communities' academic, personal, and professional experiences. We have already established the Latinx Student Success Team, a counterpart to our newly formed Black Student Success Team. This team's primary focus is to implement the recommendations that will accelerate the trajectory and remove barriers from our Latinx and Hispanic students. In addition, this past year, we formed the Latino Education Advisory Council, which is community-driven and also community-led, again, focusing on the Latinx and Hispanic experience here at DPS. We will be sharing updates on progress on the website linked below. I'm incredibly grateful to our research team from the Multicultural Leadership Center for their incredible work, and I'm excited for what the future holds for our students, for our families, and for our communities.